Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of RE/MAX Associated Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
It's time now for Mental Health Matters with your host, Lisa Reimer. Mental Health Matters is graciously underwritten by New Vision Eye Center, world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast. New Horizons, thanks Dr. Paul Minotti, Dr. Stephen Tate, Dr. Robert Reinauer, and Dr. David O'Brien. Now, here's Lisa Reimer.
Mental health does matter. In fact, emotional well-being may be one of the most important parts of your life. Mental health issues can impact your thinking, your decision-making, your behavior, and even your physical health. Hello, I'm Lisa Reimer, and I'm the host of Mental Health Matters and the Communications Officer for New Horizons of the Treasure Coast in Okeechobee. We are the largest mental health and addiction recovery provider in a 4-county region. We have inpatient and outpatient programs. The outpatient programs are conveniently located across the Treasure Coast. We have 2 offices here in Vero Beach. We have 2 offices in Stewart. We have 3 offices in St. Lucie County, and we have 1 in Okeechobee. In our inpatient programs, which are all located at our main campus in Fort Pierce, right on Midway Road, easy access off the freeways. We have a 28-day drug and alcohol rehab. We have a detox program, a children's crisis stabilization unit, and an adult crisis stabilization unit for Baker Act people who are a danger to themselves or others, where they have a 3 to 5 day reprieve from the stimulus of the outside world, where they can be assessed, where they can chill and put together a plan going forward. We also have an adult group home. All of that is listed on our website at www.nhtcinc.org or New Horizons Treasure Coast Inc.org. You can put that other part in. Our 24-hour helpline, 772-468-3909, or just call 211. We work directly with 211. And if you need immediate help wherever you are, day or night, 365 days a year, New Horizons will send someone out to help de-escalate a situation and prescribe help. And there is no cost, no hassle, no white coats, no signage, just a discreet mental health professional coming to wherever the person in need is. So today's Mental Health Matter is we're going to talk about a new production in town by the Indian River Charter High School VAPA program. And here to tell us about it is Michael Naffziger, their artistic director. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So maybe tell the people a minute about who you are and what you do at the Charter High School.
Sure, of course. So my name is Michael Naffziger, and I'm the artistic director, and this is my first year in that position. Up until this, I've been the theater director, and now I've moved into the artistic director position, and I'm excited about the opportunity. Coming out of COVID, there's obviously been a lot of changes with everybody, and we're just trying to get the arts back as much as possible on our campus, as it is a great way for kids to express themselves and to also give them some of the relief of the isolation that they had to have during the COVID time. And we're excited because we're about to open up our first musical. And it's Halloween weekend. It's actually October 29th, 30th, and 31st. It's the least scary musical out there. I don't know why we chose that date, but and it's the musical called Little Women.
I can't believe I didn't even know it was a musical.
It is, yeah. And the book, if you've read the book, it's
Louisa May Alcott, my first book I ever read. It
is a serious book. When I ordered it and it showed up, and I mean, it is one thick book. And I got through it over this 2 summers ago. I read it when we were considering doing this piece. But it is, it's a classic story. It's a beautiful story about these 4 sisters and their struggles coming up in the era, the Civil War era that they were in, with only their mother around because the father was gone. He was fighting in the war. And as I read the book and as I thought about the issues they were dealing with, some of them I could relate to, but I've never been a young woman before. And so it was challenging to kind of connect to some of the things, but luckily, and this is an amazing part about our school and what's going on there, when I moved into the artistic director position, a young lady by the name of Fedniki Nazastine has moved in to take over the acting and musical theater programs. And she is dynamic and a young lady and full of energy and ideas. And watching her work with the kids, even though I oversee the production, but watching her work one-on-one with the young ladies, she's able to connect to them in ways that I never could, and experiencing a lot of the things that they've experienced, first love, first breakups, losses, gains, excitement, sad, sorrow, And so to have her be able to engage these girls versus me engage with them is just, it's awesome to watch.
Oh, that just sounds wonderful. And so you have a cast, because there's the 4 sisters, and I'm trying to think, what was the eldest's name? Joe, Meg, and Amy.
And Beth.
Oh, Beth.
Yes. And I think
is it Meg,
it's
Joe,
correct. Yes.
Beth and Amy.
Correct.
Okay,
That's the order. Yeah.
And of course, Amy was first portrayed by Elizabeth Taylor?
Yes. Yeah.
And then more recently, like in, 2018?
Yeah, there was another one that came out, and I'm embarrassed to say I never watched it.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I've heard it's wonderful. I need to watch it now, but I've heard it's wonderful. But then, yes, most of it revolves around, the book revolves around all 4 of them equally, but the musical,
Joe wrote
exactly.
It. Right.
Yeah, it's through the perspective of Joe's eyes, and so she's the leading character in it, so to speak. But you see the struggles and the successes of all of the girls involved in it. And then there's, of course, their very close relationship with their mother, and their not so close relationship with their aunt. And then this young boy, Lori, who becomes part of their group that they take in as one of them. And, it spans several years and flashes back and forth in time. But it does really just, follow these very amazing stories of each one of these 4 girls.
Now, is this a recent rewrite as a musical, or has it always been around?
So it's the original rewrite of it for a musical. I don't know the exact year that it came out, but it's been out for a little bit of time now. And it loosely follows the book. Obviously, if it followed the whole book, the musical would be about 12 hours long. But the main themes are still there, and the songs are absolutely beautiful, and the story is absolutely beautiful. And it's just a really positive, uplifting story when I think we could all use that right now in our lives.
Now, is this the first musical that you haven't directed?
Yes. So we're co-directing in the sense that I'm working very closely with her, but it's the first time I've ever had somebody help me with any type of direction. I'm handling, the overall of the production. I'm handling the lighting and the sound and the staging and the costumes and ticketing and all the other stuff that goes along with it. And in the past, the areas that suffered was working one-on-one with the kids, because I would be stretched to the point where I was handling all of the other stuff. With Nikki there, Miss Nikki is what they call her, she's able to give them the one-on-one attention that the kids deserve. And so it's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you've expanded yourself. I mean, you now work also with the Theater Guild, doing whole productions with them.
Sure, yeah. So I'm the vice president of the Theater Guild, and some amazing changes are happening there. We're, moving into the next realm of what the Theater Guild is going to be. They've got amazing directors that work there. Their set designers and builder and tech director is amazing there. They have a new artistic director, John Putsky, that does great things. And so it's exciting to be in this place coming out of COVID, where all of this wonderful theater is starting to come back to fruition.
So you're working with adults and children.
I do, yes. I work with the whole range.
Just bringing theater to Vero Beach in a whole new way.
Absolutely. And actually this Sunday we're having our first meeting about opening up an Actors Academy through the Vero Beach Theater Guild for little ones. So in a couple of years we'll go from toddlers to all the way up in the world, and bringing theater to people, I think is really therapeutic, and it just does great things, as it did for your son. It just does great things for human beings.
Yeah. So my son was with Michael Naffziger at Charter High School, and those are, I was actually just watching the video the other day that I had on Facebook of him singing Aida, and then there were some other, not just, he was also in The Great Gatsby, but then other things that you do with the kids throughout the year, or the students, I should say, because they're now, fully actualized people,
right, yes.
At least becoming.
They are, yeah. So, Devin's 24 now?
25.
25, wow,
But even in your program, they are becoming increasingly more themselves, more comfortable with being themselves, and you provide them with a platform. So there are theater in the round opportunities, and then, so that's a much more intimate theater. But then when you're doing the main stage plays, are you still at the Guild, or are you in the courtyard now?
So we do all of our main stage productions in the Dome now, which is the outdoor courtyard. And now we also will do the smaller shows, like Devin was in The Great Gatsby. We did that in our little black box theater. But the big musicals, like Little Women, will be out in the Charter Dome, which is this time of year, going into this time of year, the end of October, the early November, is an absolutely beautiful venue to be in. It's cool, it's beautiful, the breeze comes through. And I can't tell you how many people have come up to me after the show and said this was such a great venue and a great space to do theater in. And so, of course, it has its challenges, as any outdoor place does in Florida, but it does have some really great advantages, too.
But it's also more enclosed. So if it rains, does that impede
It doesn't. I mean, if it starts doing that crazy Florida sideways rain, yeah, that impedes. But if it's coming straight down and the lightning's not too bad, then, yeah, we keep going. We keep going. Yeah.
You know, that's funny, because I actually was looking at an event, an outdoor space, and those sideways rain only come in certain times of the year.
Yes.
So you can, sort of predict, how safe you're going to be.
They can. And it typically dies down around, the end of October. So we've been very lucky about our productions out there. But the thing that's great not only about the actors is everything is done by the students. They build the set, they sew the costumes, they hang the lights, they program the music. Everything is done by them. During the musicals, I sit down in the audience, and one time I sat down by another theater director who came to see the show, and she looked at me and she said, "What are you doing out here?" And I said, "I'm watching the show." She said, "Well, who's doing everything?" I said, "The kids are." And you could see her mind just explode as she realized that we are at a place in a school where the kids do everything. It's a lot of training and a lot of work, but it's so rewarding when it becomes completely their show.
Michael, how did you learn how to do all this?
Oh, gosh.
Did you go to school? Did they teach you that?
I did go to school, and I did study theater. And I made a ton of mistakes, and I've directed some really bad shows. And, I learned over time. I actually had my own theater in Los Angeles called the D Gallery Theater, which was a small the black box theater that we did art shows and music shows and plays and musicals and a lot of trial and error. But I tell my students all the time, I'm not the best director. I tell them they're not the most talented kids. I tell them we don't have the best venue. But we care and we're passionate. And when you have those two things combined together, what you can accomplish is always pretty amazing.
Yeah. One of the things before we go to break, someone once told me, and I think this is a Broadway old adage, they want to love you. The audience wants to love you. Don't be so scared to go out there and just give it your best, because they want to love you. The world isn't always like that.
Right. That's a wonderful point. Yeah, it's called suspension of disbelief. They want to sit down there and forget where they're at, and they want to believe you, and they want to be impressed with you and watch you, what you can do, and be in love with you. And there's not many places, as you said, Lisa, that in the world that are like that.
Right. So we'll be right back, and we're going to talk more about Little Women.
Awesome.
Your mental health influences how you think, feel, and behave on a daily basis. Your mental health also affects your ability to deal with stress, overcome challenges, build relationships, and recover from life's setbacks and challenges. Whether you're facing a hardship, experiencing some kind of emotional turmoil, or simply looking to feel more positive and energetic, here are some ways to take control of your mental health today. Connect face-to-face with supportive people. Get moving with exercise in fun ways. Explore different techniques for managing stress. Fill your diet with omega-3 fats. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and invest in activities that give your life meaning and purpose. New Horizons can support you on your mental health journey, as well as recovery from substance abuse. Learn how by calling 772-468-5600 or visit newhorizonstreasurecoastinc.org.
New Vision Eye Center provides world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast. To tell you more, here's Dr. Robert Reinauer.
Many patients are under the impression that floaters in your eyes are a condition that you have to just accept. Floaters can spontaneously appear as part of the natural aging process, and they disrupt your clear vision. Some have had a laser treatment that does not remove the floaters. At New Vision Eye Center, we provide the latest techniques in the permanent removal of floaters in your eyes.
Dr. Robert Reinauer with New Vision Eye Center exclusively performs this proven procedure to remove annoying floaters in the eyes, providing world-class care for macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and retinal surgery. For an appointment, call 772-257-8700 or visit newvisioneyecenter.com. Make the move to retinal specialist Dr. Robert Reinauer at New Vision Eye Center in Vero Beach.
Welcome back to Mental Health Matters. If you're just joining us, I'm talking to Michael Naffziger, who's the artistic director at Indian River Charter High School, where they are putting on Little Women beginning on October
29th.
Okay, so that's the opening night. And how long will the show be running?
So there's 3 productions, October 29th, 30th, and 31st. They're all at 7 p.m. And you can get tickets just by going to www.irchs, so that's Indian River Charter High School.org. And there's a news and events tab that you click on, and the tickets are under there.
And how much are tickets?
They're $20 for general admission, and they're $10 for student tickets.
And they do sell out. So if you are interested in going to see Little Women, which I think I should absolutely see.
Absolutely, you should.
It is Lily in it?
Lily, yeah, she is.
Okay.
She's Marmee. She's the mother of all 4 kids.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
yeah.
So
Lily
there's
Jaramillo,
amazing talent. I mean,
amazing
some of
talent.
these people are going to be on Broadway.
Yes,
I just know it.
I think so.
So you have to buy tickets now because the show does show out.
They go quick. Our seating capacity isn't huge out there in the dome. It's not like the Performing Arts Center that you can seat 900. So they go quick. So yeah, if you want to see it, get tickets as soon as you can.
And so you go online, and if you don't, they call anywhere?
Yeah, so if you want tickets, if you don't, you can buy them online with a debit or credit card, but if you want to call in, you can dial 772-567-6600. And
say it one more time.
Sure, 772-567-6600, and you can follow the prompts to get you to the person that can book your tickets.
Yeah, because some people just don't like to put their credit card online.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're going to call to order tickets online, you just have to call during school hours, which is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 772-567-6600.
Now, did the Charter High School put on any productions last year during COVID?
That's a great question. So we ended up doing 2 productions. We did them outside and socially distanced, and we ended up doing the musical, which was The Fantastics, which Lily was also in. And that's a small cast. It's only 9 actors. That way we could keep them farther away from each other and be as safe as possible. And then we also did Lord of the Flies.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so we filled one side of the dome with sand, and we built a mountain out in the dome and did a socially distanced version of Lord of the Flies, which was very interesting. I was very impressed with the kids. They did a fantastic job. But, we had to get creative on how we did our theater last year.
And let me just emphasize that the dome is an outdoor venue, so there is a certain amount of social distancing just in clean air.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
That.
Yeah, the air circulation's great. And what the actors and the technicians, all of us wore masks. The actors would wear them right until they go out on stage. They'd take off their mask, they'd perform, and then right when they got back off stage, they put the mask back on. Just like, there were still sports and everything else is going on. You're just as safe as you can be.
So have you seen, we talked about this in another show, but have you seen the impact of COVID on the mental health of the kids that you work with directly?
Sure, yeah. Kids come in with different levels of inhibition, and some come in with no inhibition and they have no problem getting up there, and other kids have a lot. I'd say generally overall, the kids, the level of inhibition or fear to stand up and speak or stand up and sing or stand up and dance is greater because all these kids have been in their rooms staring at computers for the past year and a half. So there is a little bit more challenge of it. But when they get that opportunity to feel that, to be present, to get up on stage, to be themselves, you see the light go on in their eyes, and then they just get going from there. I mean, there's no turning back once you get them that opportunity. And that's our goal at Charter High School, is to get as many kids opportunity as possible to perform in the arts and to have that opportunity, that outlet, that vent to be themselves.
Have you seen now in this new position, as a greater leader of the whole school and influencing the direction of the whole school, Have you seen an impact on the teachers?
Sure. Yeah, our school and all of our teachers are there for a very specific reason, and that's because of the engagement with the kids. I walk around and I look at all the I go to all the classes now, and I pop in and visit them, and I've never walked into a class that wasn't engaging. Of course, there's the moment where the kids are they're looking at their computers, they're writing, but the lessons are always, the teachers are up, they're engaged, they're wandering around, the kids are doing projects. And I think the more that we move out of the COVID and into what we used to be and where we're going, I think those opportunities are just becoming more and more frequent. The ability to get the kid to put their phone down and to pick up a microscope or to pick up a saxophone or to pick up their pencil is something that all of us at the charter school strive to do. And it is having an effect. I see the shroud of what covered us for so long is starting to be pulled back. It's slowly, but it's happening. And so it's very inspiring.
What about, I haven't talked to a guidance counselor at your school. Have you heard, have the guidance counselors been in greater demand? Are they busier working with the kids, and the stuff that's going on at home? Yeah, they are. And not only the guidance counselors work, they're two of their cars are typically the last ones in the parking lot when I'm leaving. And they're putting in a ton of work, but a lot of not only the guidance counselors, but we have our ESE department that works with kids that have special needs. We have our school psychologist on campus, and all of us, even the teachers, are all putting in that extra time because it's needed right now. The kids need us right now. They need us to be present. They need an opportunity to sit down face to face with a human being and not a screen and reflect. And so the teachers are, we're all tired, but at the same time, as tired as you are, you go home inspired. I go home, my wife always asks me, did you win or lose today? And I go home saying I won a lot more than I lost when I'm a teacher. Oh, that's a really great. Your wife is really great too, Lindsay. Yes. Yeah. So, and I wanted to ask you, did they do a homecoming this year at Charter? They are doing a homecoming, which is awesome. Yeah, yep. Because I just can't even imagine these kids are going to high school and then they miss out on so many those opportunities. Like those in high school. Oh my gosh, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. For graduation, not last year, but the year before, right when it really hit and every school shut down, we built a single stage out in our dome, and I built a backdrop for it, and kids made appointments, and they'd come in and walk into the dome with their parents, and I'd play the graduation song, and I built a little tiny stage just so they had the opportunity to walk over that stage, and we had somebody hand them a diploma just because we didn't want them to miss that opportunity. Nobody was around. It was just the family and the kid, but we played the music just so they could feel that. And we, being the school that we are, a very creative place, we found creative ways to keep the kids safe, but also to do our best to give them what they need. So if someone is interested in going to Charter High School, what's the process of doing that? Because in both September and in January. Sure. So it's kind of a rolling admission in the sense that we do have a lot of orientation. So the best thing to do is to go to irchs.org, and it talks about what you need to do. We are a school of choice, but we are a public school, which means we take anybody. You do have to fill out an application, and you do get a letter of recommendation, and you write a little essay, but it's not overwhelming what needs to be done, but we want kids on our campus that want to be there. Mm-hmm. And that's what most of our campus is. And then once you get there, there's a lot of opportunities, not only in the visual and performing arts, but there's a great golf program and there's AP classes. I forgot about the golf program. Yeah. And there's a ton of opportunities for kids there. We don't have a football team. The theater department is the football team. We don't have a basketball team. The choir is the basketball team. But there are a lot of clubs and groups, and we have Powder Puff and homecoming and prom and homecoming parade, homecoming carnival, and everything that other school would have. And actually, if you want to play basketball or football, you can go to the other schools and play that. Exactly. Right. Yep. So they make your schedule so you can leave and go to practice or practice at the other schools where you're doing sport. Now, if someone wants to get tickets to Little Women, October 29th, 30th, and 31st, how do they do that? Good. The quickest way is to go to irchs.org.
hit the events tab, and then you'll see tickets. You click that and it walks you through buying your tickets. And also too, in November, November 17th and 18th, we have our VAPA show. That's where all the different programs, the Visual and Performing Arts program, come together to put on a themed show. And this theme is all arts from the classical era. And you can get tickets for that through our website. They're not posted yet, but they will be. And again, that's in mid-November.
Okay, and the arts make everyone feel good. You'll feel inspired by other people's artistic talent, as well as really, I always felt just so enthused by what the kids were doing in our community. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, call New Horizons Treasure Coast at nhtcinc.org or 772-468-3909. See you next time.